Good morning, children. I hope you all are fine at your places. So, about chapter 11, we have discussed certain topics that includes, we have discussed about force, its definition. We have also discussed about effects of force. Force can cause motion in a stationary object, how force can stop a moving object, how force can change the direction of a moving object, how force can change the speed of a moving object, and force can change the shape and size of the object. We have also discussed about the unit of force, which is Newton. We have also discussed the measurement of 1 kilogram force. We have discussed the resultant force. If the forces are acting in the same direction, then the resultant force is the addition of all the forces, and if the forces are acting in the opposite direction, then the resultant force is the difference between the forces. Now moving on to, we have also discussed about contact force, which includes muscular force, mechanical force, and frictional force. Today the topic that we are going to start with is non-contact forces, or action at a distant force. Some forces do not involve physical contact between two objects on which they act. They act through the space between them. Such forces are called non-contact forces. So, non-contact forces are forces which can act even when objects are not in physical contact with each other, and they bring about changes. So some important non-contact forces are magnetic force, electrostatic force, and gravitational force. First one is magnetic force. When you bring a magnet near an iron clip, the fact that you need to take care is that you do not touch the magnet to the iron clips. The iron clips move from their original position towards the magnet under the influence of magnetic force. It is seen that magnetic force acts even when the two objects, that is the magnet and iron clips, are not in contact with each other. So the magnet force is an example of non-contact force. Electrostatic force. When you bring a plastic comb close to a heap of small pieces of paper, nothing happens. When you rub a plastic comb several times in dry hair and bring it near a heap of small pieces of paper, they are attracted by the comb. This is because on rubbing, the comb gets charged. Since the charge is produced due to rubbing of comb and remain there without any movement, it is called electrostatic charge. The force exerted by a charged object on another charged or uncharged body is known as electrostatic force. What we observe? We observe that comb and paper pieces are not in contact with each other, but the electrostatic force is present. The electrostatic force is therefore another example of non-contact force. After that, we come to the gravitational force. The gravitational force is a force that attracts any two objects with mass. So, every object in this universe attracts every other object with a certain force, and the force with which two objects attract each other, it is called force of gravitation. The force of gravitation acts when the two objects are not connected by any means. Gravitational force exists everywhere in the universe. For example, a force exists between your pen and your book, between your book and the table, between you and the tree. This force is force of gravitation. The magnitude of this force depends upon the masses of the two objects and the distance between them. If, however, the masses of the objects are small, the force of gravitation between them is also small and cannot be detected easily. For instance, if you are on a moon surface, then the force of gravitation between you and the moon is less than that on the earth. Can you tell me why? Because of the mass of the moon is less than that of earth. It has been found that the moon gravity is 1/6 of the earth gravity. When we throw an object upward, say if it is a ball, then it comes back to the earth. Since the ball falls downward, there must be a force acting on it. This force is due to the attraction between the earth and the object. It is called the force of gravity. In other words, objects or things falls towards the earth because of earth attracts them. This force of attraction exerted by the earth on any object is called the force of gravity. Now we are moving on to a next topic, that is pressure. The effect of the applied force depends on two factors. Okay. First one is magnitude of force applied, means the greater is the force, the greater is its effect. Second is the area over which the force is applied. The smaller is the area of contact, the greater is its effect. Now, the physical quantity which measures the effect of force per unit area is called pressure. Okay. Now, how we can calculate the pressure? If pressure is considered P, force is F is the force and A is the area, then pressure is equal to force upon area. And the standard unit for measuring force is Newton, and the standard unit for measuring area is meter square. Therefore, the standard unit for measuring pressure is Newton per square meter, which is also called Pascal. So, we will do the numericals also for related with this topic, but before that we will discuss the applications where we are using this pressure. See beta, a heavy truck is fitted with 6 to 14 tires. These tires increases the area of contact on which their weight acts, and hence their pressure on the ground reduces. We can see from the previous formula that if area is increased, then pressure decreases because they are inversely proportional to each other. But pressure is directly proportional to force. The more is the force, the more is the pressure, but it is inversely proportional to area. So skiers use long flat skies to slide over snow. The skies have a large area of contact which reduces the pressure on the snow and enables the skiers to slide over the snow without sinking in the snow. The cutting edge of knives, blades, axes are sharp, due to which the area of contact decreases and the pressure exerted by them increases, which helps them to cut the objects easily. Foundations of high-rise buildings are kept wide so that they exert less pressure on the ground and do not sink in due to the extremely high pressure of the building. A school bag has wide straps made of thick cloth so that the weight of the bag may fall over a large area of the shoulder of the child, producing less pressure on the shoulders, making it more comfortable to carry the heavy bag. A wide steel belt is provided over the wheels of the army tanks, so that they exert less pressure on the ground and do not sink into it. So, similarly, animals like camels walk easily in the desert as compared to horses and donkeys. Why? Because they have broad feet, and broad feet exert less pressure on the sandy ground. So you need to read this topic very carefully till here. We will do the numerical and activity in the next class. We'll consider activity 1 and 2 in the next class, and we will do the numericals also. Till then, you read this topic carefully. Thank you.